Ostara is a pagan celebration of the spring equinox. I'm not pagan and I don't really identify with any religion, but I find tarot as a way to have deeper conversations with others and to think about your life and to think about the lives of your loved ones in a more interesting way than sometimes without tarot you would have. My friend once told me that I read tarot like I wanted to tell someone how I actually felt about their lives, which makes a lot of sense. Sorry, excuse me. I do tend to just insert what my own thoughts are, but I love tarot. I've been doing it since I was in high school with, the classic Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which maybe I'll do a reading on that sometime on this channel. But for now, we're going to do the Ostara Tarot. My goal is to be good enough that I don't have to look up any of the cards or the meanings, and that I feel very familiar and comfortable with the deck. But I'm a long way off from that because I do it pretty casually and sporadically. But I would love to be, doing daily card pulls for myself and things of that nature. So, this deck was designed by 4 artists. You can see Molly Applejohn, Eden Cook, Julia Ardell, Krista Gibbard, and you can see little illustrations of them right here on the inside cover. There are 4 Canadian artists, so those are the illustrators of this particular deck. I think the deck is really, really interesting. This is this is the way it comes, so that it can fit the booklet, and then the cards are in 2 spots, so the box isn't as thick as it would be if it was all, in one area. So that's kind of how they designed the box. This is the back of the cards, which has some skulls, and bird skulls. I'm not super great and familiar with bird skulls. You know how most people are. And there are flowers growing out of them. So I'm going to do a very basic reading. I'm going to use partly their booklet and then partly the book that I learned tarot from. It's a bunch of harsh noises that just happened, so we'll see how that gets edited together. But I use a book called Learning the Tarot by Joanne Bunning, a tarot book for beginners. That's what I've been learning out of. I haven't finished the book totally, but I've read decent chunks of it, and she is I just find the way she talks about tarot and the way that she talks about learning and using the deck really nice and really intuitive. So that would be a book that I would suggest if you're interested in learning. But we're going to be using partly that and partly the booklet that they have, because these illustrations are going to be different than the illustrations in the Rider-Waite deck, which is the one that most people learn off of. It's the one that I learned off of, but I love unique and original decks. I find the artistry involved in tarot very interesting. So the edges of this deck, I'll show you once I have it all together again. But you can see they're gilded with silver, and it's so pretty, but it also means they're kind of hard to shuffle, and I'm not the best shuffler anyway, so I kind of like to imbue the deck with, I consider it my energy as my hands, shuffle them around. Especially because it's a newer deck and hasn't been used very much by me yet. It's a little bit stiff, and the gilding makes them a little bit sticky. So we're gonna have to, crack some of them apart interesting sound. I don't know if people will like it, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, not too many. Oh, there we go. Ooh, that's lovely. Oh, I love that. Let's see if we can find another. Oh. I have no idea how this will sound on the speaker, but in person, it's like, I don't know, it's lovely, 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 lovely sound. But we're gonna do just a basic reading, kind of talk about the cards a little bit. I'm going to do a 3-card pull. We're gonna do past, present, and future. And this may not apply to you, but oh, that was so good. That was just pure delight. This may not apply to you, so which is okay. You can take this time to reflect on your own life, on where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. And you don't need to know everything. It doesn't need to be serious. It can just be tarot, just for fun, just to enjoy yourself and to get tingles, 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 tingles. Okay. I'm going to cut the deck. And then we're going to pull our first card. The Star. The Star, the Star, the Star. So, it's interesting because it looks like she's kind of swimming through the night sky, diving for the star. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the star is it's a nude woman, and she's pouring water into a puddle, and then there's a star and a couple other stars shining above her. So this is a very, very different interpretation of that card. I'll be interested to see what they say about that. But she does have a very kind of hopeful, wistful expression, so it seems positive. Where you've been has been good. Okay. Now this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 of Pentacles, and it has this raccoon in a little den. You can kind of see cups and a little tea set behind them, and 1, 2, 3, 4 little baby raccoons. This is very naturalistic. This is the type of image that I would expect from a deck that is based around spring, nature, the Ostara. And then this is the King of Swords, would be my guess. King of Swords. Very interesting. These antlers, very Ostara to have. And a kind of intense, almost disturbing vibe here. Sorry about that. One of my upstairs neighbors' children was crying. Hopefully they're doing better. And hopefully that edit wasn't too jarring. I'm trying to film more straight through and less editing because I think that works better, but I also would prefer not to have harsh sound in the video. Okay. first. Oh wow, we turned right to the King of Swords. Should we start with the future? It feels like fate. So this is intellect, authority, truth, ethics. The antlered king gazes out of the shadows of his helm. The King of Swords is an intelligent and decisive leader who acts with justice, self-assurance, and unwavering reason. He is often looked up to as an authority figure and a mediator, for he excels at cutting through confusion to reach the core of truth in any matter. He performs well under pressure and does not balk at responsibility. When he appears in a reading, the king urges the reader to act swiftly with a clear head and steady hand. So that is a very interesting thing for your future, to be in a position of intellect or authority, or to have to be the intellect and authority in a situation. Okay, so looking at the King of Swords from learning the tarot, very similar, intelligent, just, analytical, ethical, articulate. The personality of the King of Swords is a combination of the positive air energy of the sword suit and the active upward focus of a knight, of a king. He is a man of intellect who can absorb and work with information of all kinds. As a master of reason and logic, he analyzes any problems with ease. He can work out solutions quickly and explain them lucidly to others. In a chaotic situation, he cuts through the confusion and provides the clarity needed to move forward. Others seek him out to present their case as he speaks with eloquence and insight. He is always truthful and can be relied on to handle any situation fairly and honorably. When a judgment is called for, he can render an impartial but just decision. He is incorruptible and lives by the highest ethical standards. He encourages those around him to do the same, and they often live up to his expectations. In readings, the King of Swords asks you to take the kinds of actions he might take. For example, telling the truth, thinking up a solution, communicating well, or judging fairly. This king can also represent a man or a woman who is acting as he does, or an atmosphere of reason, honesty, and high standards. In a reading, he tells you that his special energy has meaning for you at this time. Let yourself be inspired by this king in whatever form he appears in your life. So it seems like you're either going to, in the future, need to have this sort of intellect and truthfulness and this resolve in a situation, or you're going to be meeting someone who is similar to that. And there is something about the bluntness of this image, kind of the blind stare, which implies a justice is blind type of vibe. Yeah, this is a very interesting card. Very interesting card for your future. Now, since we're working backwards, let's start with the star, because that's what I meant to do anyway. So, both of these cards are minor arcana, which means that they're kind of in the suits, which are all of these, as you can see. And then the star is major arcana. So, the star: belief, self-esteem, venture, growth. A woman dives through the night sky, chasing after the star. This is a card of hope. The universe is looking out for you, and it is now a time of renewed self. The moment has come for you to look towards your future and leave behind the hard times you've been through. Disagreements, money troubles, bitterness, and shadowed times aren't enough to stifle your spirit. Your life is transforming and filling with positivity and opportunity. Now might be the ideal time to invest in yourself and your plans. Your dreams are important. Don't wait for someone else to validate them. That's wonderful. That's so lovely. So seems like you were in this place in the recent past, coming into a place of hopefulness, coming into a place of chasing your dreams, which makes a lot of sense, this kind of starry night chasing after the star. And she does look very hopeful. Her expression is quite hopeful in my viewpoint. Okay, now let's see what learning the tarot has to say about this. Hope, generosity, inspiration, serenity. People have always looked to the stars as a source of inspiration and hope. There is something about their twinkling lights that draws us out of ourselves and up into the higher plane. When we turn our eyes heavenwards, we no longer feel the distress of earth. The star reminds me of the clear, high voice of a soprano. There's something otherworldly about it. All the harshness and density of everyday life has been refined away, leaving only the purest essence. After being exposed to the star, we feel uplifted and blessed. In readings, the star is most welcome when grief and despair have overwhelmed us. In our darkest moments, we need to know that there is hope, that there is light at the end of a tunnel. The star is the opposite of the devil, who strips us of our faith in the future. Card 17 holds out the promise that we can eventually find peace of mind. The star also reminds us to open our heart and release our fears and doubt. If you've been holding back in any way, now is the time to give generously. It is important to remember that the star is inspiring, but it is not a card of practical solutions or final answers. Without hope, we can accomplish nothing, but hope is only the beginning. When you see card 17, know that you are on the right track. Your goals and aspirations are blessed, but to believe them, you must take positive action. Use the light of the star to guide you in your efforts. So that's very interesting. It seems like you have maybe really overcome something in the past, and you recently found the hope that you needed to continue and to go forward into your present, which is the Seven of Pentacles. Oh, they're calling it coins. Interesting. Okay. Simple pleasures, happiness, no drastic change, comfort. A family of raccoons is snuggled safe in their den with a wealth of coins around them. This card is all about comfort. Sometimes simple pleasures are better, for they encourage happiness to be found at home. Satisfaction will be found through tried and true methods. If you are asking the deck whether you should make a change, this is a solid no on that answer. Now is not the time to flee home and to look at new horizons, but rather to enjoy what you have cultivated around you. That's a lovely thing to have happen. So you found hope when you needed it, and now you are enjoying the comforts of your home and of your space with friends and family and little baby raccoons. And soon you will need to be decisive and full of justice and truth. But before we move on, let's see what learning the tarot has to say. So they would call this pentacles. Oh, interesting. This is a very different Seven of Pentacles. And it's almost directly opposite. Assessment, direction change, reward. Well, reward is you're getting your reward. Okay. On the Seven of Pentacles in the Waite-Smith deck, we see a man who has labored long and hard in his garden. The foliage is full, the blossoms are out. It seems that his work has paid off. Now he is taking a break to admire his handiwork. How satisfying it is to see such results. How rewarding is the sweet success. The Seven of Pentacles is a timeout card. Okay, so that is represents those moments after a rush of activity when we stop to catch our breath and look around. The man in the picture has paused to contemplate the fruits of his own labors, but he could also pick that fruit. In readings, the Seven of Pentacles can indicate a reward that will come your way, particularly as a result of your own efforts. Take it and enjoy it. So this is suggesting that your reward is about to happen to you very soon in the present. This card is also a call for assessment. When we're busy, we don't have time to reflect on what we're doing and why. Are we still on course? Are we getting the results we want? Serious problems can develop if you don't take stock at key moments. This card asks you to take the time to be sure that you're meeting your goals. The Seven of Pentacles can also indicate a crossroads in life. There's a tendency to continue with familiar routines. To go in a new direction isn't easy. The Seven of Pentacles may be telling you to figure out if you need a course correction or even a complete about face. You're not yet committed to a certain path, but you could be soon. Change is still possible. The Seven of Pentacles is not a card of endings or final decisions. The game is not over, but only on hold for a moment. Once you've gotten your breath back and checked your strategy, be ready to jump back in and work even harder than before. Very, very interesting